My entire life, I think I've had a total of 3 friends. And if you went back in time and you asked a 9-year-old me how many friends I had, I would tell you 30. I named every kid in my class, and then every kid I ever played with at recess. So probably more than 30. But anybody that's ever moved away, moved schools, or moved to homeschooling or online schooling, you know so many people aren't really your friends. In school, the table you talk to in science, art class, math, the people that sit around you that you have fun with, you're only having fun with and laughing with them because they don't have anything else to do. They're laughing with you out of convenience. If you went back in time and you asked a 9-year-old me what I would consider someone, what my requirements for someone to be my friend was, I would tell you as long as they laugh at my jokes. Because at 9 years old, all I wanted was for people to validate me and like me. And at 14 years old, I've learned I don't think that's ever going to happen. Because no matter who I'm with, for whatever period of time, I've only 3 times felt like those people actually enjoy my company, which are the 3 friends that I frequently talk to and talk about in my videos. Everybody else didn't care. One friend cared when I moved away. And one friend cared when I went homeschooled. One friend cared when I had my first heartbreak. One friend cared when I lost my grandfather. One friend cared when anything happened. When I lost my childhood dog, one friend cared. Everybody else was gone by then. You tell everybody I'm going to leave and you go, oh, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. Is there a way we can stay in touch? Can I get your video games so we can play video games? Can I get your user? Can I get your socials? Can I get your number? 2 weeks, people gave up. 2 weeks and people decided that it wasn't worth it anymore because I wasn't convenient. And this is like, I try not to say things like this, especially not on my video because this is my platform. And eventually, once I get bigger, people are going to look back at this and they are going to take influence from this, see how I started. So I try not to say stuff that depicts me as a loser and accepting of the fact that I am a loser. Because one day I'm not going to be. But for right now and pretty much my entire life up until this point, I've been a loser. In kindergarten, passed all my classes. My whole life I passed all my classes insanely easily. Everything's come naturally. Up until this point, in the 8th grade. Never failed class, never ended a year or a semester with a D. Matter of fact, I've never ended a semester with anything lower than a B+. I've never had friends. This is my first time in my life that I've had more than one friend. And who knows how long that's going to last. I'm pretty confident that I will forever have these 3 friends. I think they are good people. I think they match with me. And I think that I can envision a future where they are very prominent in my life. But people change. And this video is going to sound resentful, as if I bear any hatred towards the people that I thought once were my friends, and I don't. Because the fact is, I'm self-aware enough to recognize we're just kids. I'm just a teenager. But something in my brain, when I talk about these topics, I feel nothing short of wrath. Like, I can't define it with another word. Angry doesn't do enough. Like, it's wrath. I feel so angry. Last night, I'm not going to get into it because it's none of your business. I had some very heavy family drama in which I had to stand up against my own grandmother, who was a 70-year-old woman that I know better than at 14. I had to stand up against her and go scold her and tell her to go apologize to my own mother. And in that moment, I wanted to bite my tongue. All I had to do was, they were in the living room, so all I had to do was go plug in my Nintendo Switch and put away my gaming controller and walk out the room. And I was going to bite my tongue, but I walked in there, and my grandma was pouting like she was the one that was a victim of the situation. And I wasn't strong enough to bite my tongue. And everyone in my family celebrated me for this. Everybody in my family told me they were proud, that I did a good job, that my grandpa would be proud. But the fact is, I'm not satisfied. I'm not proud. Because I failed to bite my tongue. I failed to control myself in that moment. Whatever reason my family's yelling downstairs might be picking it up. I don't know why. They yell a lot. They're not angry people. They just yell to get things across because we have a very open house. So they have to they have to yell. Also, I'm pretty sure everyone in the family is missing some hearing. That's off track. But in that moment, I failed. And before, I was kind of shaking out of anger towards the situation and towards the drama. But after, I was shaking and filled with so much anger at the fact that I lost control of myself again. The only thing in my life that I have struggled with the entire time is controlling myself. I had insanely bad anger issues as a kid. My parents said they didn't see me calm until I was 7 years old. And that was my very first time that I went to, actually, no, I'm not going to say that, but I went to I don't even know what. There's a spider in my notebook, apparently. I went to I don't know what, and they had a giant wall that kids could paint on. And at 7 years old, that's the very first time my parents ever saw me calm, was gently stroking a paintbrush. And I think I have better control over myself than 90% of people that are triple my age. And I don't mean to say that as a prideful thing. I mean to say that as an objective truth. But I'm still not satisfied because I still mess up on occasion. I don't want to mess up ever. Especially not when it comes to my emotions. And the thing is with my emotions, this is part of the reason why I'm so lonely and I have no friends. In the past, I've pushed away people. They would have left anyways. These people that I pushed away, probably for a good reason. 98% of them, I think, were good for a reason. 2% was because I was just pushing people away. Because of my emotions, I pushed people away that cared. Because of my emotions, I said things that I'll never be able to take back. I hurt people. Because of my emotions, I walked into a dojo and ferociously tore apart my competition at 10 years old. These kids did it for fun, did it for a hobby, and I was practicing 3 hours a day in my garage. and I tore them apart because I was upset at the world and upset with myself because I could not control myself. I've never understood people. I've never understood it. I don't get us. I don't even get myself 98% of the time. I don't know why I keep using 99% of the time. We'll say that. 9 years old, I started studying sociology, philosophy, and psychology because that was my way of learning how people worked. And it's worked well. I understand things about myself. I have a level of clarity about myself I think most people will never get. I have levels of clarity about other people that I don't even think they themselves have. But that's still not enough for me to be able to have friends. And trust me, I tried. I really threw myself at it. The 3 that I have, I got lucky. One of them, my very best friend, a man that I would consider my brother, I used to make fun of him. I used to bully him. He had one patch of a rash on his lower back, and I saw it during class, and I told everybody he had chicken pox because chicken pox was the current craze. People were worried about it all of a sudden again online, and I knew my peers were worried about it. And because I didn't want the focus to be on me or on my flaws for even half a second, I pointed out this one thing he had and started a rumor. And by his grace and his forgiveness, I have had a million positive experiences with this man. He is my only peer that I first saw as a nobody that completely managed to change my view of life. I'll come out and say it. 9 years old when I met him, I was an edgelord. I was in my edgelord phase. The edgelord phase most people get when they're like 12. I had it at 9. And I think I would have stayed there because I was completely complacent being there. I thought I knew the best. I didn't listen to anybody until he came along. And simply because I was curious about what made him forgive me so quickly, my entire life was changed and he became my best friend and my only friend for years. He was my only friend for 4 years straight. Until I was 13. And then I made one other friend that honestly I wouldn't consider my friend until 3 months ago. At the time, she was pretty much just an accomplice. Somebody that I just talked to occasionally. I'd send some videos to. But she showed me that if I just put in a little bit of effort with people, I will get it back almost 5 times fold. And at first I thought it was just her. No. People are so alone. And everybody's goal is to not be alone. It took me 4 years to get a second friend. With her, I did it again in 2 weeks. All it took was a little effort and a little kindness. And all of a sudden now I have 3 friends. And I still don't understand. I still don't understand people. Almost every social interaction I have, I mess up because I am so busy overanalyzing every single thing and running diagnostics and tests in my mind to decide what the best possible outcome would be in that situation. My hair looks like garbage right now. Doesn't really matter though. Once I learned that, I went to MegaCon, and I really badly wanted to be friends with this one girl. I would not call her my friend yet, but we've been talking for a few days. And I think she could become my friend. I think she could truly become someone that I care about. And the first day on, I was convinced that she hated me. Because every conversation was quick, ended fast. I'd be left on red for 3 hours. Not read, delivered. Now she's responding to me in about 30 minutes. You know what the only thing I changed was? I stopped overanalyzing. I stopped running these diagnostics and these tests. And I just started having genuine conversations with her. The first day, I think I sent 50 messages. She sent let's say 15. Because I was triple texting her every single time, like it was an interview, asking her different questions that followed a topic that I created in my mind. She didn't agree to this topic. And real, genuine human connection. I've finally been able to make that with 3 people after 14 years of trying. And I am still so alone. Out of the 3 friends that I have, I only get to see one consistently, and it's once or twice a week because he goes to my boxing gym. He's my favorite sparring partner. He's my favorite gym bro. He's my favorite person to sit down with and have a chat with before and after class. My first 6 months of boxing, you know what I would do? I didn't know how to jump rope. I never asked anybody. So I would just wander around the gym, ducking between bags, or sit on the bench, pretending that I was busy with something on my phone, so that I didn't have to interact with anybody and I wouldn't have to ask anybody for help on how to do the jump rope. He taught me how to jump rope, not even intentionally. I just felt comfortable enough to watch him because I knew that if he caught me watching, he would offer help instead of being like, why the hell are you watching me? I know how to jump rope now. I didn't know that. My entire life, I did not know how to jump rope. All the other kids could jump rope. I couldn't do it once. I was so hilariously uncoordinated. I could not do one jump rope. Am I a jump rope god now? No. I'm still pretty damn bad at it. But you know what? I can do 10 boxing skip ropes. And I think that's good enough. After 14 years of trying, finally having a breakthrough, I think that's good enough. I think it's good enough, as in, if I was from an outside perspective, I would be happy with that person. But in my inside perspective, I don't think I'm ever going to be satisfied with anything I do. Any piece of art I create, any piece of movement I do, any combo, literally anything. I don't think I'm ever going to be satisfied. Because my entire life, I've been so focused on hyper-analyzing everything and running diagnostics, running these tests that have made me so lonely, not only on other people, but on myself. The majority of my life, I was convinced I didn't have time for friends because I was too busy working on myself. And while everyone else told me that I was a million times ahead of my peers in school, in the back of my mind, not even the back of my mind, the front of my mind, I knew that I was behind because everybody else had friends. And I had nothing. Nothing. I had nobody. kind of just gone on a angry rant this video. We just hit the 20-minute mark. It's 20:10. I started when it was 20:09, then realized it swapped to 2010. Now it's 2017. So, instead of a cool item, I'm going to show you guys that I actually finally did this area of my room after going to MegaCon, which my last video was about MegaCon. Right here, I got 2 Fallout posters, Brotherhood of Steel and the main character from the Fallout show. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm kind of LARPing, but I absolutely love Fallout, so I don't really care. Back here, that is my One Piece shelf. I got a soda can. I have a Luffy sticker, but you can't see it. Luffy figure posted up right there. I've got 4 mini Funkos, which if I remember correctly, why am I saying that after looking? It's Usopp, Usopp's girlfriend, Captain Kuro, and Captain Kuro? I forgot how it's pronounced, bro. It was in like episode 20. And Mihawk. And then I got my Frankie, my Brook, got the One Piece Buggy Lego set. Up there's my Guardians shelf, which I have set up with my stuff for the Star-Lord cosplay, along with 2 Star-Lord Funko Pops, a miniature Funko figure, a miniature Gamora figure, and a symbiote Groot. And then I have my Zoro sword. I keep forgetting what it's called. Every time I'm on camera, I forget what it is. And then my Brook poster. So I finally made this area a little cooler. And I don't hate it as much. I don't hate my room as much simply because this area brightens up my room. Anyways, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Good night. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on which time of day you're watching this video. God.